Stories of terrifying nightmares, of tragic death, of heroic deeds, and of ultimate love stories. Stories like these are used to teach values in society, for the purpose of continuing a culture or to warn against dangers. Information can be easily transferred down for generations if the story keeps getting told. In recent past of our society, much of this information came through schools, or through the stories you read as a child, namely, through text. However, in cultures where text isn't, or wasn't, the main propagation information, oral and visual storytelling were the way to go. In ancient Greece, this consisted of stories told on stage to sometimes hundreds of people at a time, either through improvised speech or rehearsed theater. Theater was a huge part of ancient Greek culture, so much of that attending it was considered to be part of one's duty as a Greek citizen. In Mexican culture, storytelling is a way in which families connect, sharing familial anecdotes, horror stories, folktales, and historical accounts. Through analyzing prominent myths and legends in these cultures, we can deconstruct the kind of messages, values, and morals that these cultures were passing down. Today we will take a look at 3 stories concerning powerful and menacing women: Medea, Circe, and La Llorona. In examining the similarities between the myth of Medea, the myth of Circe, and the legend of La Llorona, we can see how strong, sexual women are presented, and ultimately punished, across 2 different cultures. La Llorona was a mother living in Mexico who drowned her children out of madness in the river when her husband left her for a younger woman. La Llorona represents love, despair, and subsequent crazed behavior of a widowed woman. Supposedly, her ghost haunts the river, crying and screaming for her children, taking ones at night if she mistakes them for her own, and enticing young men with her sexuality and then killing them. The ghost La Llorona exists in the category of ghosts called the deviant femme, which are ghosts that embody the opposite of their gendered expectations in society. These female ghosts can be overtly sexual and violent in nature, which are traits that give them agency and power, threatening the men who have power over the women in misogyny in their paternal society. These traits are devalued in the society in order to keep such hierarchy in order, leading to societies that desire women who are modest, restrained, and subdued. This allows for the ostracization of such powerful women, and the condemning of strong and sexually liberated characters in myths and legends. The denunciation of a powerful woman is also present in the Greek myths. Medea is a mythological figure in the myth of Jason and the Argonauts. She is the love interest of Jason and possesses magical powers. She escapes her father's dominance by bringing along her brother with her as the Argonauts sail away. When the father attempts to follow them, she proceeds to cut her brother up into pieces and scatter them into the sea. This is an example of Medea's violent ability to escape male control. She accompanies the men on their journey and uses her powers to help them on their way. Eventually, she marries and has kids with Jason, but after some years, Jason tries to remarry a princess, a younger woman, causing Medea to use her powers for evil, killing King Creon and his daughter, as well as her children, as revenge against Jason. She then flies away on a winged horse-drawn chariot. Medea, like La Llorona, represents this idea of a woman who is acting in a way that is not typical of what a Greek society expected of women at the time. Greek women were primarily mothers, rearing children and managing the household, and the ancient Greek value of hospitality was placed largely on them. Because Medea defies these expectations, she's depicted as an evil witch without responsibility or womanly instincts to protect children. And in Ovid's Medea to Jason, says that her erratic behavior was caused by jealousy, as Jason's lack of love was the beginning of her mind's downfall. Her strength and sexuality also present a threat to the patriarchal society that governs ancient Greek life, making her and her femininity the object of criticism. Circe is another woman who does not embody these ancient Grecian womanly values. Specifically, she uses her powers in ways that emasculates men, using magic to turn them into pigs or domesticating them through her sexuality. In Homer's The Odyssey, Circe traps Odysseus and his men on her island by turning the ship crew into pigs and by sexually enticing Odysseus to stay with her. The Greek value of hospitality, of Xenia, is one in which she stands in direct opposition, as she turns her visitors into animals and holds them as prisoners. As Medea's strength and power represent in part the succession anxiety of the ancient Greeks, Circe represents how easily male-dominated society could topple at the hands of a sexually liberated and powerful woman. These stories contain powerful female characters who step outside their roles as wives, as mothers, and as women, who react in jealousy and use violence as revenge. This way, we can see how these societies use these stories to keep women under male control, so they do not dare disrupt the power balances that be, for they could become like Medea, La Llorona, or Circe.